Hello, Sycamore. It's time for our maths lesson, and we're going to carry on with where we finished off before the Easter holidays. We're going to carry on working on our addition and counting on. And today we're going to look at solving some word problems, some tricky word problems where we have to add two numbers together. So let's have a look at the first one. Have a look at this picture here. Now, there are 8 yellow books on the shelf. We can't see them all because they're hidden behind the little girl there, but they're telling us they've got 8 yellow books on the shelf. And the question is, how many books are on the shelves in total? So we've got the 8 yellow books there, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red books on the shelf there. So our number sum, what are the two numbers we need to add together to find out how many books we've got in total? That's right, we've got to add the 8 yellow books and the 5 red books together to find out how many we've got in total. It's another word for total. How many books have we got all together? How many books in total, or how many books are on the shelf all together? So let's go over here and see how they've done it. Now, if you remember, before Easter, you were practicing counting on, because you don't always have to start with 0 when you're counting. You can start with the number you've got to begin with. And I think most of you will remember that it's always good to start with the biggest number and count on starting from the biggest number. So we've got 8 yellow books and we've got 5 red books. So which number would be a good number to start with for our counting? Remember, our number sum is 8 plus 5. That's right. Let's start from the 8 because 8 is bigger than 5. So we're starting at 8. Now, we don't count 8 as 1 when we're counting on. We put our pencil on our number track or our number line on 8, and we have to count on how many? 8 plus 5 red books. Here's our 8 yellow books. Let's count on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's our answer. Here's our answer. 8 plus 5 equals 13. Let's have another way of look at a different way of doing it using our tens frame. So here we go. We've got our 8 yellow books and we've got our 5 red books. Now we know we can make 10 by putting another 2 into the tens frame there. Now we've got 10 in there and we've got 3 ones, 1 10 and 3 ones. So we've split our ones, our 5 red books, here they are. We've split our 5 red books into 2 on our cherry model and 3. So we could use our tens frame and make our 10 first and then add the 3. And 10 plus 3 makes 13. It's just the same. So you can either use your number line to count on and add the two numbers together, or you can make a 10 with your tens frame and then add the remaining ones. So on a number line, we've put those two red books to make 1 10. We put 2, 1, 2 to make a 10. And then we've still got to count those other 3 red books. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is still 13. So there are 5 red books. There are 8 yellow books. 5 plus 8 equals 13. Could we write that number sum any other way and get the same answer? Could we write that in a different way and still get the answer 13? Have a think now. I'm listening to see if I can hear you shouting it out. I think some of you have got that right. You could start with the 8. Miss Tate's got to apologise for these numbers because it's very difficult to write these numbers with the mouse. 8 plus 5, there's my wonky 5, equals 13. My wonky 3. So it doesn't matter whether we write 5 plus 8 or 8 plus 5. But when we're counting on, is it better to start at the big number, the 8, or is it better to start at the smaller number, 5? What do you think? It's better to start with the 8, because then you don't have to count on so many, just as we did here. Start at the 8 and count on 5. So we know 8 plus 5 makes 13. 13 books in total. Now let's have a look at this question at the bottom, 1b. How many books are piled on the floor? So let's see if we can, oh, they've told us, so Miss Tate doesn't have to struggle and count and try and see these books. There are 12 books in one pile, and there are 5 books in the other pile. Which pile has the 12? Is it the yellow books or the red books? What do you think? There are 12 books in one pile, and there are 5 books in another. That's right, it's the red books. There are 12 red books because 12 is bigger than 5. So there are 12 books in one pile and there are 5 books in the other pile. How many books altogether? How many books in total are piled on the floor? Which 2 numbers do we need to add together? Have a think. Yes, here's our number sum here. We need to add these 2 numbers together. 12 plus 5. And they've given us the answer. But let's have a think together how we could work out that answer. You could use a number line. And I've got my own sort of number line here. The numbers are going to look a little bit backwards to you on the screen, but here's my number track. So we could use a number track. You could use a number track. And I've sent by email to your mummies and daddies or whoever's at home, I've sent number tracks to everybody who hasn't got them. So you can print off that number track and use a number track at home to help you. So you could use the number track. Which number would you start with? Which is the biggest number in our sum? Is it 12 or is it 5? It's 12, isn't it? So if I was using my number track, I'd start at 12, which is there on my number track, and I'd count on 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I get to number 17. So I know 12 plus 5 equals 17. They've also used here, though, the beads. Do you remember the beads we have in the classroom, the bead string? Try not to rub out the numbers. And if you have a look, they've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's the bead string 10. Plus the 2 is the 12. 1 10 and 2 1s makes 12. Plus 5 more. And if you start by adding the 1s, you add the 2 plus the 5 makes 7. And then you need to add this 10. And 7 plus 10 makes 17. So you can do it lots of different ways. If you find it easy to use the number track, remember when you're adding, start with the biggest number and then count on. Let's have a look at the next page. Here's our problem to think together, and we haven't got the answers here, so we're going to have to work it out together. There are 8 yellow books on the shelf. The librarian finds 4 more yellow books. How many yellow books are there in total? So, they've given us, here's our cherry model. It's another way of doing it. So we know we've got 8 yellow books and then she finds 4 more. So what's our number sum? Which 2 numbers do we need to add together to find the total number of books? That's right, we need to add together 8. I'm going to do it up here because I don't think I'll fit my numbers in those little yellow boxes. 8 plus 4 equals, there's our number sum, and we have to find the answer. So you could use your number track. Start at 8 and count on 4. That's right. Start at 8. Remember, your first jump is 1, 2, 3, 4. So what number is on that number track there? What number comes after 11? It's 12. So 8 plus 4 equals 12. We've worked out the answer using our number track. We can also work our answer out using our cherry model. So this is the number we want to find, the total. Remember that from our cherry model? So if we put 8 and 4, 8 in that circle. Oh, mistakes, crazy numbers. 8 and 4. We need to add those two together, and the answer would be 12. 12. Now let's have a look at question 2. I'm going to just try and move this out of the way so that we can see. So, little boy Seth, let's see what he's got to say. Last term, I read 6 books. This term, I have read 11 books. And the question is, how many books has Seth read altogether? So last term, he read 6 books. And this term, he's read 11 books. So let's look at these two numbers. 11. How many 10s are there in 11? That's right, there's 1 10 and 1 1. So we could start by adding the 1s together. 6 plus 1 equals 7. So 6 plus 1 equals 7. And then we still have to remember we've still got our 10 here. So 10. Whoa, funny 0. Plus 7 equals, there's our 7, equals 17. So altogether, he's read 17 books. Could also do it in our tens frame. We could, there's 10, I'm going to just put a line through them. There's 10. And there's another one, 11. So there's our 11. And last term he read 6. So there's our 11. And we need to add another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we can add them all together. 11, remember? Count from 11. You don't have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know that's 10. And one more makes 11. So start at 11 and count on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, my cursor's gone funny. 17. 17. So Seth has read 17 books altogether. There's our answer. 17. So there's different ways of doing it. You can use your number track. If you've got tens frames at home, you can use tens frames. And also at home, I've got our cubes. So you can make the two numbers with cubes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got 10 there. I don't want to stick together. There's 11. Got 11 cubes there, and I need to add another 6. That's right. So I could get another 6 cubes from my bag of cubes. Here's my 6 cubes. So I've got 11 cubes plus 6 cubes. So if I was counting those and using cubes, I don't start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I know there's 11 there, so I've counted them. 11. I say 11 in my head. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we know that 11 plus 6 equals 17. That's our number sentence. Let's have a look at the challenge. Look, there's the lightning bolt symbol when we get to our challenge question. It means we really need to switch our brains on. So question 3. Lucy and Seth are reading. Each book has 20 pages. Quite long books. So both of them, they're reading different books, but each book has got 20 pages in it. And we've got to work out, they haven't finished the book, we have to work out how many pages they've got left to read. So let's start here. It's telling us Lucy is on page 12. And look, I can just see, I don't know whether you can, children, I can just see up there the page number 12. Can you see that? I'll put a circle around it. Lucy's on page 12. And we have to work out how many more pages she has to read to be able to finish the book. And in the book, there are 20 pages in total. And Lucy's on page 12. So let's look at how we could work this out. So if we look at the number 12, and we just take our ones, and we work out to get to 10 first, 2 plus what makes 10? 2 plus 8 equals 10. Should we just check that? I've got here a tens frame. And if I just put 2 pages in it, how many more do I need to put in my tens frame so that I've got 1 10? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let me put those 8 in blue so that you can see that. 2 plus 8, it's all my blue ones. Can you see that now? 2 plus 8 equals 10. We know it's 10 because the tens frame is full. So 12, remember 12 is a 1 10 and 2 1s. So 12 plus how many equal 20? Oh, so to make 20, they've shown us here, we need 2 tens frames. We're thinking about our number bonds to 20. We need 2 tens frames to make 20. So let's see. Let's fill in 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's our tens frame. It's got 10 in. But Lucy's read 12 pages. So there's Lucy's pages. 12. Now, if I change the colour of my pen to red, if I can. So she's read all the blue pages. 12. How many more does she have to read to fill up so the 2 tens frames to make 20 pages altogether? Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we knew that already because 8 plus 2 make 10 and 10 plus 10 makes 20. So she's got 8 more pages because 12 plus 8, there's my red 8, equals 20. So Lucy has 8 more pages to read to finish the book. 8 more pages. You can also use your number line. You'd start at 12 and you'd finish at 20. So you'd count on from 12 until you got to 20, 12. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more pages to get to 20. Right, my page is looking a little bit messy. Let me clear that. Let me move this out of the way. See if we can move this over. Right, let's have a look at where Seth is. Seth is on page something. So I've got to have a really close look at Seth's book. I can just see that Seth is on page 7. You see that there, page 7. And 7 plus what makes 10? What do we have to add to 7? I'm going to use my tens frame here. I'm getting my tens frame ready. You know your number bonds to 10. What do we have to, there's 7, he's on page 7. What do I have to add to 7 to make 10? That's right, 1, 2, 3 would fill up my tens frame to make 10. So 7 plus 3 equals 10. Now we have to work out, he's on page 7, 7 plus what plus something equals 20. How many more pages? Do you think you can work that out? You could use your tens frame. 7 plus 3 makes 10. And to get to 20, to get all the way to 20, how many do we have to add? Shall we count them? Might be easier if I make them red. The remaining pages I'm going to make red. How do we see how many we've got? Use your tens frame. I'm taking a little bit of time with my tens frame. You might have a tens frame at home. Let's see if I've got any more counters. Here we go. So if I was using my tens frames, should I make myself a little bit bigger so you can see my tens frame a little bit better? There we go. So here I've got in the blue counters are the 7. Oh, I've got a rogue blue counter there. There's the 7 pages that Seth has already read. They're all in blue. But how many pages does he need to read now to finish the whole book, to get to 20? We can count them. We know there's 10 in that tens frame. 10, 11, 12, 13. So 7 plus 13 equals 20. Let me see if I can clear that and write that slightly neater. 7 plus 13 equals 20. And we knew that 7 plus 3 made 10. So we also know that we just added one more 10, didn't we, to our 3? 7 plus 13 makes 20. If 7 plus 3 makes 10, 7 plus 13 equals 20. So Seth has 13 more pages to read. Now Lucy only had 8 more pages to read. So who has read, who's further through the book? Who's got less pages left to go? It's Lucy. Lucy has read more pages, hasn't she, than Seth, because she's read 12 and she's only got 8 more to read. And Seth had read 7. He's got 13 more to read to finish the book. So if you've got tens frames, you can use tens frames at home to help you. As I say, I'm going to send you the number line. You could also draw in your workbooks or on a piece of paper your cherry model. Because we needed to know how many are number bonds to 20. Seth had read 7 pages. I know my 7 looks backwards there. Let me do it that way around so that you can see it. 7. My 2, it's because I'm showing against the camera. Is that helping you? Not really. There we go. That looked better. So 20 pages in total, and Seth has read 7. How many more pages does he need to read? What's our number bond? What number needs to go in there to make 20? And we know it's 13. It's 13, we've just worked it out. So you can use a cherry model to help you. You can use your tens frames, or you can use your number line. So lots of different options. But remember, we don't start counting from 0. We start counting from the number we're starting with. And it's really helpful if we can start counting from the big number. So what you're going to do now is you're going to do some problems of your own in your Power Maths books, which I'm just going to get for you now. So you're going to use your Power Maths books. I've put that on today's lesson plans, the pages you're doing in your Power Maths books, and the questions I want you to do. So I've sent those to your mummies and daddies or whoever's at home. So I now want you to get your Power Maths books out and get cracking on those little problems. Also, there's a power puzzle to do and a challenge. If you want to have a go at the challenge, that would be brilliant. So good luck. Looking forward to you sending your work in, but use whatever you need to help you count on and to solve those problems. Okay, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.